Hi YouTubers, if you're wondering, yeah, my hair is darker. I had a friend of mine do it and trim it for me. She offered to do it even though I didn't have the money at the time. I'm trying to be more frugal with the money that I have left because I'm still on the job hunt at the time, at this moment. And I just wanted to get on here and kind of talk about my life right now and some of the things that I'm struggling with that I think maybe some of you guys watching can relate. I'm really struggling right now with looking back at my past and realizing some things that I've done wrong as a result of my experiences, some wrong choices that I've made. And it really sucks because I feel like I've messed up to the point of no return. I feel like certain things can't go back to the way they used to be with someone, and things can't be fixed. And I'm really struggling with my faith in God on this, and Him opening doors that I didn't expect to be open. I'm just really nervous about my future, and I don't really know what I want to do as far as like my jobs go. I've been applying everywhere that I possibly can and where I'm qualified, and you know, I'm open to doing new things, but you know, I'm still not hearing back from anybody yet. You know, I've been putting my resume out there wherever I can. You know, I'd like to maybe try doing something remotely if I can, because I like the flexibility of that schedule. But at the same time, I don't mind going somewhere either, as long as it's not too far away and doesn't make a really long commute for me. So I'm struggling with that, and I'm struggling with people from my past. Like I said, you know, I don't have any more trust left in people, you know, at this point, because I've been through so much, and I'm kind of angry with myself because there was really one good person in my life that I pushed away, 2 times actually, that could have given me better years than I've had the last couple of years. And I'm really mad at myself, you know, because I'm going back and realizing from my experiences how much better I had it when I was with him. And finding connections like that are extremely rare these days, and I felt like with this person we could do everything together, and we made really great friends, and probably would have had a better relationship when we reconnected the first time. But the thing is, I wasn't at a point in my life a couple of years ago where I could be with anybody in general. You know, things were worse than they've ever been with me and my dad. You know, I was trying to find myself in this new job I had just started a couple years ago, and just trying to navigate through life. And you know, I had to find my own place and make things right with my dad and me, and go through therapy, and there were just a lot of things I was going through, and he wanted more than friendship, and I felt like I was using him as a result of our friendship, because every time we would go out places, you know, he would be the gentleman and treat me like a queen and treat it like a date and always pay, and I wouldn't have to pay for anything unless it was something I wanted extra. And we went on trips together, and we did a lot of things together, and I don't know. I don't know why I keep finding myself thinking back, you know, to him. You know, I reached out to him. I had the gumption to, and, you know, he agreed to meet with me, and we're going to meet on Monday. But it doesn't feel the same. You know, I feel like I threw away an opportunity to be with someone great, and it doesn't feel the same to me. And my heart's kind of broken, and I'm mad at myself because it's my fault. You know, in a way, I kind of deserve what's happening now. You know, I was bold enough to ask him if he was seeing anybody, and he said that he was, and he asked me if I was, and I said no. So yeah, I'm just really struggling with that. You know, I didn't realize it would bother me as much as it does, but it does. You know, and it's going to be very hard for me not to want to ask about it, you know, when I'm with him, but I won't ask. And if it comes up, yeah, I'll listen to him and everything, but I'm not going to ask about it. You know, I just keep thinking back to how I was treated with him versus all the other guys I've been with, and he treated me the best. He just had a few little things that could have been fixed, but I just, you know, I didn't have those deep conversations that I needed to have with him, and I was in a different place, you know, both times we got together, you know. We met in college, so I've known him since 2013, and we dated briefly in college, and then 2 years ago we reconnected, and I ended up blocking him and ending things because he wanted more than I could give at the time. And realizing 2 years later I did that makes me feel sick, because I feel like I squandered an opportunity, you know, that could have been great and could have saved me a lot of heartache and a lot of abuse that I've been through. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this. You know, we end up going for the people that we don't deserve, and we push away the ones that we do. And, you know, I just feel like a piece of trash, honestly. I feel as a result, I deserve to be alone. I definitely don't deserve him meeting me, and I kind of don't understand why he would agree to do that if he is seeing somebody. Just because I know myself and I'm as loyal as they come. And if I were seeing somebody and I had somebody contact me from my past wanting to meet up, I would be like, no. So I'm not really sure the validity of his statement, let alone how serious it is. You know, and I don't know how much he's changed in the last couple of years. Like my mom said, he could end up being, you know, somebody that I may not want to be with, or might solidify my decision that I made a couple of years ago. The point is, I'm at least going to go, and I'm going to make it right as far as what I did wrong with how I ended things with him. It'll be a hard thing for me to do, because part of me wants to go back to the way things were, and I know they can't, because, you know, not only was he invested in me, so was his family. And I know that as a result of my actions and my choices, they probably don't approve of me anymore. And I don't blame them, because, you know, I led him on a little bit because I wasn't willing to give him what he wanted and needed at the time. And, you know, there's just a lot that I want to talk to him about and unload with him on Monday. You know, it's just nerve-wracking because I don't really know how it's going to go. And I'm trying to trust God with it, because there's a reason he opened up to me and he communicated with me so instantly. I just worry, and I'm worried about it. And I know I shouldn't worry. But it's hard not to. And I'm trying to remind myself at the end of the day, I'm still okay. You know, I was okay 2 years ago without him, and I'll be okay now. The important thing is I'm not going to leave things on a sour note between the two of us, regardless of what happens going forward. I do think I will be bold at the end of our meeting and ask him, you know, where do we go from here? You know, what do you want? Are you happy where you are in life? You know, do you not see me in it anymore? I may ask. I don't know. It just depends on how the conversation goes. You know, he got along great with my family, and we just have this unique connection that I feel like I won't find anywhere else, and I haven't found it anywhere else. You know, I went on a date last week, and I still haven't heard back from that guy, and, you know, I'm not 100% sure he still knows what he wants, you know, and I don't have time to be with somebody that's that unsure. And in all reality, he didn't have time for that either, you know, and I don't expect his life to be on hold because I disappeared for a couple of years. There was a lot going on at the time, though, that we were friends, and I want to explain that to him, you know. It's just a lot to handle, a lot to deal with this year. You know, and it's hard to remind yourself that you'll be okay, even though there's a small part of you that feels really sad and heartbroken that they're moving on with someone else, you know. I'm sure I'm not the only one to experience this kind of thing. It's just really hard. You know, looking back, I wish I would never have drifted apart from him. But at the same time, I know I needed to, because there were things God needed to show me and things that I had to do alone without somebody. And I think that was also why he was showing me why it wasn't working out with these other guys, because I still had growing to do and things to heal, and a broken relationship with my dad I needed to fix. And I couldn't do that with the distraction of someone else in my life. It wasn't just him in particular. It was anybody in general. You know, and I think that was part of why I stuck with just wanting to be friends. And then I ended up ending things and blocking him entirely. I don't know. I see my therapist on Saturday, so I'm hoping to talk to him about this and get some unbiased opinions from him. He had me make a chart of everybody I've ever been with and list why things didn't work out with each of them. And, you know, I'll mention him because he was on that list. And I just kind of want to talk to him about how I'm feeling and kind of the second thoughts I'm having. And, you know, I'm struggling with whether or not I genuinely want to come back, or if it's out of loneliness that I'm reaching for him. You know, part of me feels like that's what it is. You know, I'm at the lowest I've ever been right now in my life. And every time I feel myself getting that low, he is who I turn to mentally. You know, I never really reached out because I kept him blocked, but mentally he's who I went to and who I thought about and who my family kept bringing up. And there's something to be said about that, you know, and there's something to be said about him still agreeing to meet with me even after telling me he's seeing somebody. People on my Facebook group think that it may not be that serious if he's agreeing to see me. You know, and I'm kind of hoping that they're right, but who knows, you know. And then, of course, there's that uncertainty about my job situation and not hearing back from people. I mean, I've got enough money to cushion me for a little while, but that only lasts for so long before I don't have anything. And I really don't want to lose my home. You know, I've got a lot of stuff now, and there's just no way I could physically move back into my parents' house, and I don't want to. You know, I worry about that possibility. I worry about having to pay for a storage shed, and, you know, I'm very worried right now, and it's a very big time of uncertainty for me right now, very uncertain season, and I'm scared, you know, and I'm scared about what Monday's gonna bring. You know, I want so bad to tell him I miss him and that I want to go back, but I know even if things work out or go well that night, it can't just go back like that, you know, and there's things I would have to prove to him, you know, because if I were in his shoes, I would be afraid of another letdown, you know, because I let him down twice, and I'm mad at myself for that. I'm angry because I gave into my flesh versus what God might have been telling me at the time, in my heart at the time. You know, I totally blew all that off and thought that I could do better. And I'm realizing now that no, I couldn't do better. You know, he was the best one, you know, I'd ever had. And I'm mad because I didn't listen to myself. And if I had a time machine, I'd go back and tell myself 2 years ago, listen, you know, he's the only one that's cared about me, the only one that's been there for me, and the only one that knows me to a T and still stayed, still chose to stay, you know. Everybody's got flaws, and I always thought mine were too much to handle because these other losers taught me that they were, and he didn't. He never ran, you know. The only time he ran was when I was with someone else, and he was man enough to sit back and watch that. And I can't imagine the pain I put him through, you know. So I don't blame him if he puts his foot down and says, I don't want you in my life, not even as a friend. You know, I don't blame him 1 second, you know, if he feels that way. Yeah, I will doll myself up and look decent when I meet him on Monday, as if I was going to a job interview, just for common decency. But I won't act as if it's a date or go into it with any expectation, because I know what I did, and I know what I deserve as a consequence. Will I ever find that connection again? I don't know. I gotta pray about it. I gotta ask God about it, because I feel like connections like that are so rare these days. You know, men and women both are capable of playing the same tricks on one another. you know, and none of them want to have genuine connections like I did with this guy. I mean, this guy would go shopping with me, for crying out loud, and go to all the stores I like, you know, and he would spend hours doing that with me, and we'd go to movies, and he never complained. He never got bored. He never said that I was wrong. He never argued with me. We really didn't argue all that much, to be honest. You know, we had a good, peaceful, easygoing relationship, and I miss it. I didn't think I would, but I do. Is it because I'm lonely? Maybe. I don't know. That's what I want to figure out, and I'm hoping to figure that out on Monday. And I'm hoping to figure out his vibes on Monday that he gives off. You know, if he feels standoffish to me, or cold, or completely different from who I knew 2 years ago, that's what I deserve. You know, and a lot of honesty because of the choices I made. You know, and if he's happy, I just need to be happy for him. But yeah, people are advising me not to ask about it, and I won't. I'll go with the flow of the conversation, and if it comes up, I will listen, and I will say I'm happy for you. You know, because part of me does feel like I'm reaching out because of loneliness, and I know I need this time to kind of be to myself and to pray and to get closer to God. You know, and I'm about ready to tell the other guy the same thing. And if he's watching, he can figure it out through this video, that I need to be kind of by myself anyway. He kind of ghosted me and has been ghosting me for days. And I don't feel like somebody is that busy. And I learned from experience not to chase, and I won't be chasing anymore. You know, and I'm also going to sit back, and I'm not going to talk to the one that I just mentioned and have been talking about. I'm not going to talk to him until Monday, because I want to see if he gets curious at all about me, or if I'm okay. You know, I'm going to go silent. You know, and if he doesn't talk to me until Monday, that'll kind of give me a little preparation for what to expect when I go in and meet him, you know, because regardless, I'm going to meet him, whether or not he talks to me between now and then, you know, because I've known him for so long, you know. And honestly, I feel like if I never left him the first time, we would be married with children right now. Probably would have been the wrong time, but I think we would at least be married had I reconnected with him in 2018 and stayed with him. You know, and the important thing is he's not affiliated with my workplace, and he's not that close to me in proximity. And that's what makes this relationship so much more ideal for me. You know, if it ever were to work out. But I got to follow God, and I got to go with whatever he opens up to me on it. Whether, you know, and I struggle with it. I struggle with my faith. I'm struggling with my faith right now. And I'm going to talk to my therapist about it, you know, on Saturday. We study the Bible together, and he helps me relate to God through the Bible and my life through the Bible. And I like that. So I can't wait to see him and tell him what I've been thinking and what I've got planned. And maybe he can tell me whether or not it's a good idea, or if I should just stick to only being friends with him, you know, and not go any further than that. And just kind of go over the dialogue I've had with him. So it's just been a lot to deal with. Right now, I just kind of came home to take a breather before I go back to my mom and dad's. I journaled a prayer to God. And I might actually do some physical praying here once I get off the video, and just kind of voice my opinion and my concerns to him. You know, I'm just really nervous and anxious, and I don't know, you know, because I don't know what my future holds with my job, with my love life, you know, and it's a lot. And I'm dealing with my health, and it's just quite a bit to handle. And I just thought I'd get on here and do a video and kind of fill you guys in on where I'm at right now and how I'm doing. And I'll give you guys an update on how Monday goes. Chances are I may or may not see him again. This might be the only time, you know, and I wouldn't expect anything less, you know. If I were seeing someone, they'd be lucky to just get this one meeting with me. So, I don't know. I mean, part of me feels like he's saying it to protect himself, which I get. But another part of me wants to take that seriously, though, and believe him. Because I don't expect him to put his life on hold for me. Even though he was open to talking to my mom, and then he talked to me so quickly. I don't know. Anyway, if you guys pray, please pray for me. Keep me in your thoughts. And just be thinking of me as I try to navigate this crazy life, try to find a job, and try to figure out Monday and figure out how things are going to go with me and him. And I'm really scared. You know, I wish I could go back, and I wish he wasn't seeing somebody. But I can't get my hopes up that that's a lie, because it may or may not be. Just because it's not on his social media doesn't mean it's not true, you know. I know a lot of people that keep stuff like that off their social media. So there could be a strong possibility that it's true and he's happy, and I can't play with that. I don't want to play with that. I wouldn't want it done to me, and I most certainly wouldn't do it to other people. It's not fair. You know, it's not fair to them. You know, I know what it's like to be cheated on, and I don't want to be the person that causes something like that. So, you know, I gotta respect it. I gotta respect that boundary and walk away, you know. Of course I won't block him again, you know. We just may not go any further than Messenger, and we may not add each other on Facebook, and we may not talk on the phone, and we may not, you know, add each other on social media platforms. That'll be what'll happen, you know, if I realize that this is serious, and to leave it alone. Because I don't want to stand in the way. You know, I wouldn't want anyone standing in my way if it were me. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's up to him and what he wants, and I gotta just be okay with whatever it is, because I deserve it at the end of the day, because I made those poor choices 2 years ago when I shouldn't have. If I had a crystal ball back then, I would have definitely chosen to stay with him, and I would have said, okay, I'm ready to be more than friends. But my stubborn ass didn't do it. So anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. I hope you guys are having a good week, and I'll keep you posted with more updates as I have them, but this is where I am right now. Just be praying for me and thinking of me as I go through this. It's a very confusing and hard and lonely time for me. So I appreciate your thoughts and prayers in advance, and I'll talk to you guys soon.